You already see for the orange, they are starting to hop in. We'll just take a quick look at the scoreboard for Legacy Gaming. Akrish Keeper, Legacy, and New Year, New Marlin up against Alex, Epiphany, and Sora. Right off the bat, the kickoff going to favor the orange. Alex actually taking possession over in the corner. Gets it over to mid. Sora just barely missing the connection. It's back to Epiphany. Legacy trying to see if he can eye it up from the wall, see if maybe there's an interception he can go for. Eventually has to drop off as Alex retrieves it. And with a quick short pass to Epiphany, you thought it might just be a quick breakaway. But just like that, the blue side of Legacy Gaming keeping themselves in offensive scoring territory. And Sora now having to get it away, but Akrish not going to allow that. Getting it straight into the corner, a potential center. Epiphany forced just to lob it up, and Legacy just barely unable to get that inside the crossbar. Sora wants to get this away, but Marlin is not having it. 44 boost, maybe faking actually his amount of boost, because going at that with absolutely none might have been just to throw off those defenders. A bit of back pass comes through. Marlin gonna take it high, wants to see if he can drop this in behind enemy lines, and he is going to center it up, but not gonna be able to secure any goals. It's back over to Epiphany, intercepted by Akrish, and now we find ourselves 70 seconds expired, still with no goals, but Epiphany trying hard, gets this centered up. Akrish with a slight little touch, but not quite enough to get it over any defenders. Sora gonna intercept. Marlin just wants to kill that mid, tries to go for the double, but Alex going to intercept in time. It's back over into the corner, back over to Sora, and right now he's just looking to see if he can get anything centered up for the teammate, get some boost for his trouble. Epiphany going to be able to force a 50 and keep it deep into the blue. Alex trying to center, and Epiphany a backflip hit, but it is not going to find the net. A good job at keeping this offense alive, but with the demo onto Epiphany and the double commit there from Sora and Alex, it is back into the orange. Find ourselves with about 40 seconds until the halftime mark. Sora now with the ball. It's over to Legacy. And it's just a back and forth affair right now. Alex, though, trying to get a little bit of an aerial play going. Goes up, gets the initial, but it goes a little bit too far right. He's not able to land the second touch in time. Akrish now going to catch it off the ramp. Rolling its way down, but Alex once again just intercepting immediately. It's back over to Epiphany now, who is going to be able to at least read out against this and does manage to get some boost for the trouble, but the ball going to be boomed away back into the orange, and Akrish going to be fast on this, but it's just high. Bounces away, and the first goal still denied, and we are now entering the second half. Ariel going to try to get underway there from Sora, but is not going to find the target, and it's back over to Legacy to clear it away. Full boost here from Sora as well, and it's going to start floating back over into mid. Alex to catch, and he is going to do an initial touch upfield. It's over to the corner. Oh, and Legacy wants to get in the way, but not able to get there in time. Alex, a nice little center into mid, and Marlin needs to boom it away. He does. Is that on target, actually? That's on target, and that's going to score it. And New Year, New Marlin going to come all the way through and boom that save across the field off of the assist from Legacy, and nobody can get back in time to deny that one. So the first goal finally struck around 3 minutes in, and it's going to be to the boys in blue. Legacy Gaming going to take this first lead. It's over into the middle. Alex already trying to set up to receive a catch there, but it is not quite going to come through. Marlin wants to go up and try to center it for his own teammates, and touched away. It's back over towards Akrish, and he just wants to try to get this back over mid. Legacy setting up. The initial aerial comes through, but it's intercepted by Sora. Met in the midfield. Now with the ball just leisurely rolling over towards this blue net. They have to find something here on the blue side, and Akrish just trying to throw a little bit of confusion into the play, not allow any of those players to know quite where this clear is going to come from. And it allows them just to hold on to this lead. All they need to do for the final 70 seconds is just hold this 1-goal lead on the Legacy Gaming side. Meanwhile, as the time continues to tick, WACK Esports is going to be desperate to get a shot on net themselves. Epiphany goes up, does manage to center it, but it's straight into 2 blue side defenders, but Sora reading out that clear. Going to be looking to try to fight out here, and Alex is going to be the one to take the fight. Back over to the wall, back over to mid, but a little too far past Marlin, and that's going to be... Oh! You thought for a second Alex might be able to get back just in time. But Akrish going to pick this ball up off the wall and just hit it in too fast. Alex almost able to get there in time to deny, but it's inside the left crossbar. And now with only 41 seconds left, over on the WACK Esports side, they're going to need to find 2 goals very quickly. And a kickoff goes straight back over towards their net. This is very dangerous. And Epiphany just deciding he wants to try to dribble this one away. Marlon meets him up on the wall, and it's going to end up with a center going back over towards net a little bit far. But Sora still needs to try to get this one out and deep into the blue. There's only 23 seconds to go. It is still doable here for WACK, but they need to get this on net now. And Akrish just not going to allow any sort of center to be set up there from Alex. Marlon denying it as well. And that is just going to be one after another, clear after clear. And that is just a boomer right along the end to seal the deal. Nothing going to find the inside of the net. But for the Legacy Gaming side, the 2 goals from earlier will be more than enough as they take the first lead of the match. Loading back in, a very defensive game throughout. Both teams unwilling to give up any goals, but eventually Legacy Gaming able to force 2 over the line, taking themselves the first of 3 necessary to pull off this first match. And right off the bat, another kickoff going straight back towards the orange goal. It's intercepted early, and Sora, with that aggression, is going to be able to knock Akrish off. Ooh, Marlon, though, able to deny the center. It's back over to Legacy, who a quick pass over to Marlon sets up a center, but Alex to boom away. It's over into the corner now where Epiphany looks to play it out, and with Akrish setting over towards mid, Marlon close on his tail. It does not look like the defense is lessening for the blue, but a quick flick shot forces a double on the defense. And the follow-up could be dangerous. It's going back over towards mid. Alex a little too far up to commit onto that ball. Has to fall off. That gives Legacy the time to get back. And he's going to get a center over towards mid, but it's going to be a denied shot as the defender's up just in time to deny that angle. It's back over to Legacy, and he's looking to try to get it away, but Epiphany gets it past. Potential center. Akrish has to boom it, and he will, but Sora, a fast follow-up, sets up a center, and oh my goodness, Epiphany just trying to tap that in, but Legacy so disciplined there on the defense, able to read that play and stop it right along the goal line, dribbling it upfield, and the counterattack already on board here. A pinch manages to work itself out there on the top, and Legacy forced to save once again. The follow-up shots back, force, and center, but Sora just can't seem to find the inside of the net. Too many defenders blocking every single shot they make over here on the WACK Esports side. Marlon now, an aerial play upfield, doesn't quite find the inside of the net, but it's enough for Alex to have to boom it away. It's off the top. Akrish already fast on this. He gets an initial touch as well. That gets Epiphany off the ball, and Sora now having to clear this away. Marlon meets, and he's going to take possession, which gets that ball even closer to the orange, and a double touch off the top gets it closer, but finding its way back mid. Oh, an unlucky little touch off Alex, keeping that ball over towards the midfield, but Legacy, with his back to the ball, going to have to fall off. Still 0 for everybody, very similar to the last game. We find ourselves 2 minutes expired. Nobody finding a break in either team's armor so far. WACK Esports definitely seeming like they're being a little bit more cautious, trying to keep themselves back a little bit more, but at the same time, they've had so many fast offensive plays that are just denied by really an individual's efforts on the defense, whether it's Legacy, whether it's Marlon just stealing the ball away in mid, whether it's Akrish keeper, sorry, who's just been sitting around in the midfield just looking to steal away any balls that come near him, and now it's starting to float back over. Sora, good interception, and that's one thing you got to give to the WACK Esports guys throughout this entire thing, even throughout the last match, or last game. They were just spending the entire time lining up these very technical, very precise shots, and they are fast, they're on target, they're just getting denied by the defenders, and you gotta wonder if maybe the play is to switch to some sort of demo opportunity, because it seems like the only thing standing in your way is the one guy in the goal. But Marlon looks to set up yet another play. It's over off Akrish, and it will actually enable a play out, but Sora getting demoed there in a little bit of a confusive dog pile. And that's going to leave with the bomb booming back upfield. 100 seconds left. Any goals scored now, of course, could be the decider. Legacy goes up for a clear. This time, only able to force a 50. doesn't make its way out of his end, and Alex this time going to be demoed, so the blue side going to be favored on this offensive play, but by now, going to be respawned Alex and gets in the middle of it. It's over to Marlin. A fast shot on net, and nobody able to get up in time for that one. And finally, once again, Legacy Gaming find a way through. They shot after shot, and after 4 minutes of fighting, finally the ball is slammed in. That will be the first one found for the blue, and now WACK Esports. 74 seconds. They need to find their first goal of the match here to equalize it up. And with it, a chance to equalize the series. Sora catches that off the initial center. That's Marlin, the only man in the goal. A shot a little too high, and that follow-up shot just a little too wide. It's back over into mid. Marlin, wants to get some sort of pinch over towards the goal, ends up just sending it to the wall, but Akrish already setting up here, and that might be a pogo shot in. It has to be saved off the crossbar. Saved off the crossbar again, but this time by Legacy, and now 42 seconds to go, and they still, from the WACK Esports side, need to find a goal. They have to get this ball out of their end, and right now they are just being forced to deny shot after shot. Akrish, you can see he's just trying to get in the way, not allow them to boom it away, and Marlin, what the hell was that? Able to catch it, lands himself on the wall, jumps off again, and gets a shot pretty damn near the goal, just forcing all of these defenders to hang back and not allow themselves to push into an offensive scenario. But here it is, Marlin starting to get up, is the lone man back. All three orange side players are here, but they need to try and get something going, and unfortunately it just does not seem like it's happening, and Legacy Gaming are going to be able to hold on to their offensiveness and get a second lead, going on to match point. Players loading in for the third and what could be the final time as Legacy Gaming find themselves on match point. WACK Esports on the goose egg, and unfortunately for them, it's that way in the goals department as well. Legacy Gaming with 3 in the match so far. WACK Esports yet to find 1, but they are not out yet. They can find a way back into this. It just has to start with that initial goal. Sora finds the ball, doesn't quite have any boost to try to play this out. It's going to have to end up back on Epiphany's hood, and now it's going to find its way boomed back into the blue. Oh my goodness! And the boomer downfield, while I'm catching my breath, it's going to just be Epiphany to finally find that opener for the orange. WACK Esports finally rewarded for their efforts. And straight past 2 defenders, a lobber into the net finds WACK Esports their first, and a little bit of a sigh of relief. At least this will not end the same way as the rest of them. Epiphany going to deny that initial goal. And now it has to be Legacy to try to make a play. He's starting to get an aerial going. Oh my goodness! And he's going to hit the double tap. And what a way to equalize that game. Let's watch it one more time. He flies off, takes it, and just ever so gingerly taps it down with that back left wheel. And just like that, WACK Esports have found themselves at an equalized scoreline. And what a way to shut them up from Legacy Gaming. Wow, what an individual play coming out of the titular character himself, Legacy. A boom back downfield. Epiphany over onto this wall. He wants to try to play it out, and he is going to be allowed some room to work with. Gets a little bit of a pinch off the ground, but nothing too fast for Marlin to catch. Alex, waiting back towards this goal, knows that there's quite a few offensive lines, and in fact goes up for one. Sora already on it, gets bumped a bit for the effort, but it does get the ball immediately out of harm's way. And another offensive double commit. It just seems like they're trying to rush a few too many clears out here for WACK Esports, and this time it finds the ball stranded against one lone player deep here in the orange. Going to be bouncing back over towards the wall, where you can see Epiphany already looking to set up for this, and he is going to be allowed to try to fight this out, but Sora comes up in the end, wants to try to play this one away, and it's going to be a booming shot towards net. Alex lands the accuracy, but it is not fast enough to make it past the defender. Marlin to boom it back downfield, finds the corner, finds Akrish. Actually, it's not going to connect, and Marlin does not want to allow Legacy back into the play. He's looking to just play this away, and actually manages to dribble it out past 1, past 2, past 3, and that's a center potentially finding Legacy, but Alex gets there just in time and manages to hit it a little bit further away, not allowing any of that timing shenanigans to happen. WACK Esports about to find themselves into the second half, and unfortunately for Akrish, they're going to go into it with a lead. Alex from the left going to be able to hit a fast pogo straight in front of the goal, and Akrish just not ready for that shot. So with only 9 seconds until the halftime mark, WACK Esports find themselves back in the lead. Last time, it was an immediate play from Legacy to look to shut him up. This time, looks like Epiphany wants to try to capitalize on the lead, but not going to be allowed to. Alex waiting over towards mid. Sora sinks it in along the line, and now they're going to be up by 2. So a significantly different scoreline being seen here in Game 3, as WACK Esports finally seeming to hit their mark a little bit, as they are finding this open net now, and they find themselves with a hefty 2-goal lead, but still with 140 seconds to go. And we know that while Legacy has Legacy Gaming, sorry, let's make that clear, has managed to keep themselves on the winning side of things thus far, they have not yet been challenged in the goals department. They've had to do a completely uncontested game both times, and well, now looks like they might be found on the back foot. Legacy to look to play this out. It's over towards the corner, but it's going to be boomed back downfield. Marlin to intercept. And Legacy wants to try to tap that one over, and does set up an initial center. Marlin there fast on the follow-up, but Epiphany so fast to boom it away. It's going to be straight off the ceiling. Epiphany managing to touch that one long and mid, but Marlin already here wants to try to kill it off the corner, and he will get that initial center. And Akrish able to get a touch on it at least. Epiphany saving that one, but it's going to be a forced 50 into the corner. Akrish able to get another follow-up touch, but it's just a little too high, a little too fast for Marlin to get back in time for it. But now they are definitely looking to score here. Look at how many flicks, how many shots. They are trying to sink in front of this net. Every single player for the blue trying their hardest to get the first of 2 necessary to get into OT. They want to win this one in 3. What a convincing scoreline that would be. But Legacy trying to get an aerial play of his own going, not going to be allowed the room to work with. And now Marlin with an open shot on goal is going to take full advantage. And Legacy, what a smart play there. Let's go into it for just a second, because he actually conserves 25 boost, allows them to think he's run out on that carry. Right at the end, he lands, uses the remainder of his boost to bump 2 players out of the way. And at that point, Marlin is in a 1v1 against a shell-shocked lone defender, and he's able to win it. What a great little team play coming out from Legacy Gaming. And that is going to lead a 1-goal deficit now in their, well, against their favor. But with only 40 seconds to work with, will they be able to strike lightning twice? It's going to be Epiphany, trying just to deny anything he can, and he's going to do a good job at keeping it deep into the blue. Marlin to boom it back upfield. Legacy tries to catch up for a fast adjustment over towards net. It just ends up being a Marlin-led lob over in front of the net, and Akrish trying to sneak that past Epiphany, the only player that was left in the goal. Not going to do it, ends up booming it away, and now Legacy and Akrish going to find the ball. 5 seconds left. They're going to have one final play, and it will start now. Oh my goodness, they get the bounce just before the end of time, and that's going to allow this ball to stay up, but Epiphany will kill it, and with that, WACK Esports will find their first game of 3 that they will need to cinch this match. Game number 4, one way or another, we are going to see quite the outcome. We are either going to see an equalized scoreline going into a game 5, or we will be seeing Legacy Gaming slipping away with a 3-1 match. And so far, it's a fast play off the start. The ball finding its way deep into the blue, but Alex not quite on target enough to land any sort of pinch back over towards mid. It's going to be Akrish just to look to play this away, and it's going to be Sora just back flipping it back upfield. It's going over into the midfield line, and now Epiphany Trying to center this one up, finds it on the ramp, and actually manages to get it over into mid, but Marlin up in time to boom it away. He's trying to make a fast play. It's going to find its way over to his teammate, but oh, just a little bit too high left of net. That's going to be Epiphany to boom it back upfield. Sora fast behind. Alex actually going to be the one to take the initial engagement. That'll find its way over into mid. Getting a little bit of an extra touch as Legacy just looks to clear it out. Not going to be able to get the initial touch, though, and Epiphany going to hard punish that. Sneaking his way into that split second. And the miss, harshly punished here. A very fast shot there from the man in orange and managing to take perfect advantage of that situation. So now it only takes 52 seconds, but WACK Esports once again finding the first goal of the match. Now it's Epiphany looking to play it up mid, but a boomer back downfield forces Alex back to save. Marlin, a dangerous man when he gets that ball in front of his car. And that will be another play from him over towards mid. This time Epiphany to boom it away, and Legacy, the last man back, nowhere near the goal. It's going to be Alex setting up, but oh, AK just able to get back in time. Legacy to boom it back downfield, and oh my goodness, Alex able to get up just in time to intercept that on the top as well. Gonna be a boom back over towards goal. Denied once again by Sora. And this time it seems like Legacy Gaming are the ones that can't seem to find their way past the defender. Just every shot being denied by these men in orange. Marlin wants to play one out, but ends up allowing Alex to take possession. Wants to try to play it off of his initial engagement, but is not ultimately able to. It leaves it back over to Sora, back over to Epiphany, and Sora trying to get off that ball for Epiphany in time. It just wasn't communicated quite fast enough. But nonetheless, they are able to deny the ball from advancing upon their goal for too much longer. As we say that, though, Legacy setting up. Does manage to keep it in the orange. Sora now having to clear this one away and ends up leaving it for Epiphany. Knows that there's one man still trying to fight his way in, and it's going to be Marlin forcing Alex back to save. Oh my goodness, and Hacker's trying to sink that one in. Not going to be able to do it. And that is going to be Marlin keeping the ball over into the blue, with Akrish hitting a bump there onto one of the defenders, which is huge for that offensive play to stay alive. Meanwhile, Epiphany on this wall looking to try to boom it away, and he does get an initial touch mid, but Alex being found out by Marlin. That leaves a 2v2 at the moment over in the orange. Marlin going to be allowed to take the initial touch. Alex denying it back over into the corner, but they have the third man back, still waiting in the wings. But Sora finds the ball. It's an attempted pass over that ends up going into Legacy's hood, and now Akrish to look and get it back upfield, but not quite able to do anything with it, I say, but he manages to land that one straight in front of the net. And just like that, off the back of another team play, Legacy Gaming managed to equalize. What a phenomenal final touch there to drop that straight in front of the net, and what a good job from Marlin managing to avoid that car, slip in front, and sink it in before any defenders can find their way back. And now we find ourselves in the final 100 seconds. This time it's going to be Legacy just going straight off the kickoff, straight into the air, and he twirls his way into that ball and into yet another lead. And once again, Legacy just showing up here for his team, just slamming in yet another one. And what a well-played match from them. And just like that, it goes from a lead for WACK Esports into do or die time once again. They need to find one extra goal if they want to keep themselves at least in overtime contention. Legacy forced to fall back and play defense. Alex wants to try to win out against him. Does force a 50, but not able to maintain possession as Akrish now looks to play it. Marlin gets a setup, doesn't quite land the double touch, but Legacy is there to deny the boomer back towards their own goal. 70 seconds to go. And Sora readjusts it back towards his own net. Alex forced to save that away. Legacy trying to center this up once again, and Akrish just getting a bump onto a defender, getting this over to Marlin. Sora forced to bump Marlin away, and now there's only 50 seconds left, 20 expired, and still WACK Esports with nothing to show for it. Akrish managing to catch that little slip-by shot, get it over into the corner. Over back in front of the net, and Marlin just wants to sink that along the goal line, ends up centering it right up there for Alex to clear. But still, such pressure being applied to the WACK Esports boys. They have not had this ball out of their half in so long, but a mistake out of Legacy, a rare one, is going to allow them to find that crack. Legacy trying to do it all himself, denies Marlin that touch, and that lands Epiphany with a clear shot back onto net. So WACK Esports gifted an opportunity and making full advantage of it. 26 seconds to go at this point. Essentially a one-goal game. A fast play from the blue. The ball going to find its way into the corner. Marlin trying to set up, but Alex too fast to clear. It's over into mid. Legacy already here, and 50 boost left on this play. Could still do plenty with it, but Sora, a fast boomer back downfield. Marlin able to get up in time, so not going to be too harshly punished, but 7 seconds, 6. It's going to be touched straight over the goal. Right now, it's looking like WACK Esports having a great chance to score, but Marlin going to allow it to touch the ground, and that will be overtime. One goal is all that will determine whether or not WACK Esports is allowed to play on, or if this will be Legacy Gaming taking away their first match of the season. Marlin off the wall, getting an initial touch towards goal. Sora redirects it. It's a little bit risky just floating along that goal line, but it is going to be denied. Oh, and Akrish denying that boom away as Marlin just going to center this back over towards the wall. Alex trying to clear it, but he ends up just centering it. Luckily, Sora there do an initial touch away. Epiphany going to boom that one a little bit upfield himself. And now Marlin wants to get a play going. Alex barely able to readjust and clears that one away. Akrish not going to allow this to fall down. It's back over to Marlin. And now Sora wants to try to look at replaying this, but Legacy allowed to find his way past. And the half flip from Sora, not enough to get him back in time, but Epiphany's there. It's going to be a fast play back upfield. Epiphany not quite able to land that goal, almost essentially would have cinched the game. He just did not quite have the boost, did not quite have the angle, but Marlin might setting up for a double touch. It's back over to Legacy. He's shooting the shot, but Alex going to deny it once again over towards this left wall. Once again, it's AK Rush trying to deny against Epiphany. Now it's Legacy once again. A boomer back upfield. It's high. Finds its way onto Sora, but back over off this wall. And Alex does not want to allow them to keep possession here, but does not have much of a choice. Epiphany booming back downfield. Marlin easily able to stop that shot. It's back over off the wall. Alex too committed. Epiphany gonna get bumped away, but not before booming it back downfield. It finds its way back over to Marlin, who has to deny Sora, but ends up committing a little bit too early. Luckily, Legacy's able to deny it, but Alex setting up for a shot, and AK Rush can't get up in time. And just like that, WACK Esports, from the precipice of defeat, are able to secure up a 4th game win and take us into game 5, where now Legacy Gaming's impressive first 2 games will mean nothing as we go in to a best of 1. Into the final game of the best of 5. Legacy Gaming, we're off to a 2-0 start, and now are potentially about to be reverse swept by WACK Esports, who up until game 3 had not scored a single goal. But now they find themselves within striking distance of the win. The ball finding itself over in front of the blue net as well, but AK Rush going to be able to deny that immediately. It's back over to the left wall, where now it's Marlin who gets demoed, and that allows Epiphany with a boom downfield. Luckily for the blue, it is going to be Marlin spawning directly in front of that ball, and don't know exactly what happened there to Sora, but Alex going to be able to save that shot. A shot back upfield from Sora. Alex just trying to throw off the timing a bit, ends up setting it up for Legacy a little bit, and now going for a backflip save, ends up passing it over to Sora, who will not be able to maintain possession, and AK Rush managing to get past everybody there on the defense. Back over into this corner. Alex now looking to get this off the wall, and he will be allowed to, but Legacy just going to go straight up and steal it off his hood. A pinch downfield finds its way over into the corner. Sora able to land himself in front of this as well. Potentially a shot towards net. Ends up going towards the other corner. A little bit too high on that engagement to quite center that up for the teammate, but Sora trying to keep this offensive play alive. It's over off the top, and That will leave Legacy looking to play it away here against the man in orange, but we'll be back over towards this wall where AK Rushkeeper looking to just hit it back over towards mid. Marlin denying it down towards it again, and that's going to leave Legacy, the lone man, back to play it. AK Rush back to defend now. With Legacy whiffing, it will end up being necessary for him to regress in, but Sora wanting to capitalize, not going to be allowed to as Marlin starts to get it back downfield. And that will be once again, oh, Legacy potentially getting a shot there off the great pass from his teammate, but just not quite able to find the angle in time. Legacy now just looking to keep it over in front of this net, and they are able to do it so far. Epiphany managing to get it upfield finally, and Alex now trying to just center it over into mid. Epiphany finds it, and this time he is not going to miss. He has been on fire for the past 2 games, and he continues it into the third. Alex, what a great initial play just to get it over off that corner, bump one of those defenders, and sink it in off of that pass. And that will be 2:53 remaining on the clock. And likewise, it is the remaining time for Legacy Gaming to find 1 goal and get themselves into OT. All right, now Sora looking to get themselves up to a 2-goal lead. Legacy initially going to deny that, but it's going to be Marlin who is the ultimate one to clear it away. That will be Sora getting it past 2. And right there, Epiphany just waiting back. Not quite sure if that save was even going to come through. Just going to wait and see if he's gifted a goal, but luckily for the Legacy Gaming side, they are not going to give it up yet. Still only down by 1. Still very much tieable. If they go down by 2, it's where they have to get scared a little bit more, and they're almost able to equalize it right then. But another great save from Alex to deny that equalizer. Legacy with a potential setup right off the bat, and it is eventually going to find its way in. Let's watch this one more time on the replay as Marlin a pass over. Legacy not quite able to find that shot, but Marlin, a quick thinker, able to get up just in time. And just a little bit of a defensive misstep there as WACK Esports in a desperate attempt to clear it away. They are going to bump into each other and deny that save. So, an equalized scoreline with around 100 seconds left on the clock. Boom, back upfield there from Epiphany. A very nicely placed one, but Marlin not going to allow it too much airtime as killing it along the midfield line will leave it back over, boomed back up, and Epiphany once again just going to hit a very nice little lob downfield to try to sneak something past into this goal. But Alex decides just to clear it out of the way of the defenders, taking it onto the wall, looking to see if he can get some sort of play across the net, but with no boost, has to take it high. Sora tries to do what he can off that ground, but not going to be able to do it in time. Epiphany going to boom it downfield. For now, it's AK Rush to try to play this over, but it's Marlin in the corner who is going to be the one with the final touch. And Legacy setting up for that pass, going to be denied along the goal line. The orange side defending it just in time. Alex booming it back upfield. Legacy wants to follow this through, but Sora meeting him in a 50. A backfield pass sets up Marlin, but not finding the net as Legacy forced to try to come in off the pass, but 45 seconds to go. We find ourselves into the orange with the ball now, and Marlin trying to get a shot towards net, not going to be allowed it. Legacy just shooting that one high. Epiphany going to be able to pogo that one over the midfield line, and now you're seeing Marlin looking to try to set something up, but they're just not able to. AK Rush trying to get this back over into mid. Legacy with a potential shot, and he sinks it in. And just like that, 22 seconds left after about a minute of just relentless offense here from the Legacy Gaming side. Finally, the titular man himself is able to sink it along that line. And now with only 22 seconds left, they have to try and get one more on WACK Esports. They fought so hard through games 3 and 4 to get back in here, get back with the opportunity to win it all. And one goal could be all that separates them and Legacy Gaming. Sora, a desperate back pass up midfield, but that's going to leave it to Marlin, and he will let it drop. Just like that, Legacy Gaming finish it very similarly to how they started, a slim lead, but a lead nonetheless, as they take a 2-1 game to take the series 3-2.